Good evening, my friends. I made a video earlier about some of the stuff that's going on in China right now, and I've been watching some of the news about Hong Kong and the various protests that were going on there, and I had thought about this for a while, and I wanted to do another unscripted video, just basically on some of my personal views about China, and was just going to read off the chart. This chart right here at my left, you're not able to see it, but there's a chart here. And I just wanted to say that this is my message to the people of China. I think there's a lot of us here in the United States that are supportive and encourage the Chinese people to stand up and to basically make their freedom, their independency a reality, instead of the government that's there now is a wicked government. It is oppressing and doing evil acts against Tibet, and has been doing that. The government of China has been oppressing Tibet for a very long time, and I believe that the only hope that Tibet has is a full rebellion from the Chinese people against their their communist government. And I believe that when the Chinese people get tired of being treated themselves like not, in other words, when the Chinese people get fed up, then they will rebel and protest continuously against their government until the Chinese people can move some other people into positions that gives them a declaration of Chinese independence. So I'd just like to also ask my subscribers, as well as broad scope, the people of China, that when do you want your freedom? Do you want it now, or are you going to wait another decade, or a year, or 1 year, or 20 years? I think the more pressure that they put on those governments will allow them to find their independency. And a lot of ways they want to kind of be like the United States is, and so we obviously have divided states here in the United States, but they're divided, but they're also united. And I'm sure that is what the Chinese people want now, because I could just kind of feel that when I'm looking at the news and I'm looking at the people that are protesting and putting their lives on the line for something that they believe in. Now I'm going to read off this chart here. This again is my personal message to the people of China, the honorable people of China. So I believe that the honorable people of China, should make divisions in China for the sake of honor instead of false unity, for the sake of a handful of evil crooks that are ruling there in China. Is the Chinese government that's corrupt, and that those people, those officials, those Chinese officials, run the most evil and they run the most evil and unfair communist Chinese government that has pretty much ever existed since the first dynasty was overthrown in China's past. And I encourage the people of China to continue to stand up for your honorable people and completely remove China's evil, oppressive government from off the breaking backs of the Tibetans, who have been mistreated over and over again. And it looks to me like now that government in China and those officials that have been guilty of war crimes, that they are going to have to answer for the evil that they've done against Tibet. And they're getting away with it, what they're doing to Tibet, and no one is trying to help Tibet be free. No real armies come from any other country to challenge China in their illegal occupation of Tibet. So, with that being said, I just want you to understand that now that evil government and those evil officials have gotten so comfortable with being able to treat Tibet like their own perverted playground when they rape and pillage and molest and beat and imprison and torture Tibetans. Now they're starting to do this kind of stuff to their own people, the Chinese bloodline. And so the Chinese, they're not going to, the people of China are not going to put up with this. And you guys shouldn't put up with this, because we have freedom here in the United States. And we do have democracy. But it was an independence, a declaration of independence, rather, that was a foundation of what democracy grew out of. And, an independency is a favorable form of government, even though it's a rebel independency that started the United States of America through that declaration of rebel independence. Now I'm going to go back to the chart. I also feel that the Chinese, the honorable people of China, should remove China's evil, oppressive government from off their breaking backs of the Chinese middle class. If 1 billion of the people of China will protest and seize China's wicked government, then newly chosen generals can once again successfully divide China once again for the sake of running a country with having states that are divided, and yet they are still united to keep and to preserve independency through each place in each territory. As it was honorably divided, so China was honorably divided during the great times of your honorable ancestors. I believe that the 1 billion Chinese foot soldiers of China should help free the Chinese people from China's evil government, and also free the Tibetans by leaving Tibet and refusing to be there anymore and harm any Tibetanese or Tibetans who have been abused for all these years. And the evil Chinese government officials, they need to be brought to trial because they're guilty of human rights violations and war crimes against Tibet. And now many of the Chinese government officials are truly guilty of illegal crimes against their very own people of China. This is an outrage. The spirit of freedom calls to the Chinese people: rebel, you honorably and honorable people of China. Make yourselves over 1 billion strong. Declare your very own Chinese declaration of Chinese rebel independence. Honorably divide your newly independent China into divided and independent, divided and free states, somewhat similar to the United States, who has honorably divided and yet kept the independent status of democracy in independent states. Remember yourselves, great people of China, and remember that a rebel declaration of independence was the father of what grew out of it and came and became a democracy. Believe this, you great people of China. It is a rebel independency that you are seeking. It is a rebel independency that you must attain through blood, sweat, tears, and rebel resistance and protest, and rebel protest and resistance. You, the Chinese people, you are more than 1 billion Chinese strong. Fight for your rights. You will become the rebel independent Chinese people of a fully independent new China. Zawa is an old expression. It means let it be so. And Zalah also means that arise. And so arise, you people of China, and seize your freedom and your rebel independency of a new China in a dream that many have had for a long time, for you to arise like your ancestors did when they fought for a republic. And you can also fight for and gain your freedom and your independency, my friends. Zalah, I appreciate you. Thanks for listening to this video message. It was partially unscripted, and part of it was from a chart that I was writing up earlier. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next video if I'm able.